about being a member of the Information Society? That's a difficult question because I didn't know we were in the Information Society.
So hello and welcome back to another episode of Test Drive Thursday. Today we're jumping in a Mercedes Actros MP1. So let's get started by taking a look at all of the configuration. So here we are inside the truck configurator. Now it's the second truck along in the truck dealer when you sort of click inside it. So bear that in mind. And you also need the Sidesall Mega Pack installed, I believe. Else it leads to the game crashing, so make sure to watch out for that. Cabins, we've only got the Mega Space, but that's not a bad thing. It's a good looking cabin, I find. Useful for taking box trailers and the like. There's loads of different chassis available from, we got 4x2S here. I'm not sure what S means, if any of you do know that. Got some 4x2s. 6x2, 6x2 4, 6x4, 8x4, 8x8. So yeah, a great range of chassis available. Engines, they range from a 312 Euro 3 with 1530 Newton meters of torque, all the way up to a 571 V8. Again, Euro 3 this is like maybe like early 2000s truck with 571 horsepower and 2,700 Newton meters of torque. Interestingly, the mod author has decided to put a 1,500 horsepower engine in there, but the torque figure is exactly the same as the 571 horsepower, so I'm guessing that's not going to feel much different, but yeah, I think that's a good range of engines. I do find it a bit unusual as they're like 312, 394, 571. It seems a bit specific to me. It's a bit unusual. Transmissions, we've got two 12 speeds with or without retarders and a 16 speed. Now I believe if we get on the inside, they're all automatic, or mod orders automatic, so power shift, I guess that is an auto, but yeah, we'll see. On the interior, you've got standard 180. Oh yeah, so this is one thing to note. If you're using a sort of actual steering wheel controller, this is how many degrees the wheel will turn in game. Now, my G29 that I've got, the G27, G920, not sure about some of the other wheels, but they all have a 900 degree of rotation. So if you want one-to-one steering in the game to what you're doing in real life, you'd go for this one. If your wheel, for example, does 1800 degrees, then obviously you'd want one-to-one, so you'd go for that. But I'm not sure of any wheel that does 1800 degrees, like a wheel controller or anything. Maybe some of the really expensive Fanatec ones or something. And then you also got 1080, but yeah, I'd go for 900. There's no options to change the seat or the paneling here, or colours or anything. But yeah, it's very sort of jazzy with these beads on the seat. I haven't really seen anything like that in the game, but it's very detailed, I have to say that. The paints, we just got some standard ones here. You can add a custom metallic and things like that if you want. Yellow chicken. It's a nice colour actually. But we'll just go for this silver whilst we're configuring here. And there's a lot of dots to take in. I mean, look at that. Starting off down the bottom, you can add some lower grille guards and then some sort of random slots around the edge if you want. These are the number plates, so it's helpful if it said like the country on the picture. Germany, there we go, Great Britain. So that would be it'd be between September 2001 and March 2002. So yeah, it's an early 2000s truck. But interestingly, that is the wrong number plate. That should be the rear number plate, because in the UK our front number plates are white, not yellow. So yeah, that's not quite right. I don't know if no, I don't think they've got a different one. I'll probably just go, if you go for without, it puts your World of Trucks number plate on, so I'm probably just going to do that. What are they? Oh, so they're a different style fog light. It's not just the cover, you can definitely see the different shapes. I think I prefer that, to be honest. Those are on the side. What's that one? Oh, so you got sort of guards for the lights. It's pretty cool if you're going quarrying or something. That's where you can change the complete front of the cabin from plastic to paint. Depends what look you're going for. If you're going for like a cheap truck kind of thing, or if this is your starting truck, you probably want to go for the plastic. But it doesn't seem like, I don't know why my currency keeps changing to this. I keep changing it to GBP, but it keeps changing back. It doesn't seem like there's much difference in price, which is kind of odd. You got the bull bars, they're all standard, so they're pretty rubbish. This bit you can change the front grille. I don't actually mind it in plastic. I do wish the plastic was a bit more dark, rather than this sort of light grey, almost faded look. But I do think that's probably a little bit overkill, and you can't really see the design of the truck. But when you go for something like that, I think it really splits it up nicely. But obviously it's up to you. Truck of the Year 97. That's kind of cool. I like how they've added that in. I'm gonna use that on my truck. Main mirrors. Now, one thing to note, on the opposite side to the steering wheel, this this mod only comes left-hand drive. So on the right side you got a wide angle and a sort of normal field mirror. On this side you've only got the one, which I don't really get why they do that. I don't see the benefit of it. Maybe visibility on this side, but I don't know, it's a bit confusing. I feel like the paint colour is slightly off on that. Let me just try a different colour. Yeah, it's a lot darker. And then the actual paint, I'm not sure what the metallic will be like. I think it'll just take the standard colour. Yeah, so when you go for a metallic paint, the mirrors just take the base colour, this one, into account. Which is one thing to note. Let's go back to that silver. Around here, you can make that paint if you want. I'd like it to keep the Merc badge, lettering here, in sort of a darker colour, because you can't really see it. I mean, look at that, you can't read it now. So yeah, so that's a bit of a shame. Wish they could change that. Those are the tanks, we'll get to that. Right, you can add a stripe, like a reflective stripe. I've got no idea if that's just visual or if it actually sort of works in the game. If you shine a light on it, if it actually glows, I'm not too sure. But yeah, it's kind of cool how they've put that in. And you can also add like a little stripe here on the side. Well, not really stripe, but some almost like waves or something. It's kind of cool. That's nice. I like how you can make that all plastic. That sort of splits it up. Be better if it sort of followed this line a lot better, so you don't get that weird door frame, but it's actually not that bad. I like that. Up here you've got the front mirror. What's that? Oh, some green, I don't know what you call this. What's it called? I don't know, but green band along the top of the dash. That's kind of nice. That means you don't really have to have the sun visor if you don't want it. But you got some different colours, green, violet, red. Probably just go for the black. Lights, some little roof lights that turn on. Pretty cool. You got the sort of light bars, or you can have it just with dots. I'm guessing you can just put a horn or something on the side like that. Let's see if we can find a better horn. There's got to be one in here somewhere. Really need to sort my mods out, it's such a mess. But anyway, that's pretty cool. What's that? Some kind of artwork, but it's written towel. No idea what's going on with that. Curtains, that's pretty nice. I wouldn't have cream. They're not cream. In fact, they look really dirty. What's the blue ones like? That's horrible, like dirty curtains. They look better, but I don't really think they match the interior. Maybe if you go for like a blue truck or something, but yeah, that's weird. Interior lights, and you got a spoiler here if you're taking box trailers, which I think finishes off the cabin. I think it seems a bit abrupt when you have, or when you don't have the aero piece. I just think that finishes it off a lot nicer. It would be cool if this plastic line was followed across, but it isn't. You can't actually change the handles as well. Oh, we got bedding. Oh, that's a bit bright. Yeah, they're all super bright. That was probably the darkest. But then they don't match the curtains, so I'm probably just going to go with that. Right, the dots are getting confusing now. We've done that. You can paint this side. I believe I also saw a dot for the tanks yet. So you can paint the tanks red if you want, or just have it silver. No option to have it colour matched to your truck. Then you've got the wheels. You can change the wheel arches again. They don't match the actual colour of the truck, which is weird. But yeah, I'll just have that plastic. Now, what's that dot? Oh, it's the flags. I think the rest of it is on the inside. So, wheel, you can change that if you want. You can have them all. Is that MP3 style steering? Oh, MP2, it says here. MP2 style steering wheel. You can have these 3 spokes, which I don't like. I'll probably just go with the MP1 because that's the truck that we drive in. Down here you can add all kinds of random stuff. That's the bed. You can put a pizza on there. I mean, what you got up here? Is there anything here? Yeah, so I don't get that. You got the little air freshener, sun visor, interior ambient lighting. We've done that. You've got the slots on the window, sat nav, which is cool how it's got the cable. That's nice. Telepass devices, I like to put them in. You got a little space for a cup. That's cool how they actually put it in the cup holder. Usually they don't do that, but yeah, that's nice. Little slots in the little cubby hole there. That doesn't quite fit. Nutella. Yeah, it just goes on and on. A pretty good interior customization, to be honest. But now I'm going to do a time lapse of me building this truck to my spec. Okay then, so here we are, all fully configured now. I've gone for like a silver arrow colour scheme, classic Mercedes silver. You can actually zoom in quite close. I mean, look at that. Nice. But yeah, I've kept the Truck of the Year 97 one on there. I just think that's kind of cool. But on the back we have got 8-ton sort of farming trailer. So not massively heavy, only need a 4x2 for this. As you can see, all the cables are working behind. On the inside, if I get Trackir working again, there we go. When you jump in, the steering wheel is at a weird angle, and you can't actually see the speedometer, which is kind of annoying. And I also didn't realise that you didn't have like a central info. If I just turn it on, that digital info display, I didn't realise you had that until I moved the wheel. If we just turn it on, may as well. You can see fuel level, consumption with a live readout. You've got the gear. I'm using an auto today, as this is a auto truck, as you can see. Oil level, and then I believe that is cruise control bottom left, but I'm not too sure. Probably going to leave it on that. You got the odometer below the speedo, and you got the rev counter. You got some of the diff controls, I presume, and suspension, but obviously you can't control that in the game. Over to the right you've got oil pressures, fuel, water temp, stuff like that. Over here you've got all the controls for the aircon. You've got a really detailed sort of, I don't know, cassette player, is that? Doesn't look like it's got a CD hole. I'm not sure if some of these, yeah, look at that, hazard button works. Have we got a button for like high beam or something? Wipers, I presume that's on here. Yeah, so you can see two options for the wipers. You then got the indicators. There's the lights down there, look at that. You got the green interior lighting, which is pretty funky. I mean, just the detail on this mod is really good. Then you got the cruise control over there. Otherwise you got really detailed stuff down there. Not sure what those buttons do, but yeah, it's not too bad, is it? I just don't get the colour scheme, but apart from that, it's really detailed in here, which I must emphasise, it really is. I think they've done a very good job of it. But enough talking, let's get moving. So the mirrors are actually, like, the frames of them are really thin. Look at that. Those are some really good mirrors. That clicking that you can hear is the gearbox changing gear. It's alright when you get going, but after some time it becomes annoying, especially when you're slowing down. The gearbox, it's not one of the sort of fast shifting 6 speeds, or let's just wait for this guy. It's not one of the fast shifting 6 speeds that I usually drive. It's really sort of slow to change and react. It never really knows what it's doing. I mean, look at the shifting speeds. You can hear it really. Oh, I've gone the wrong way. Oh, look at that, when you put the hazards on. Hang on. What on earth? Hang on, let's just pull in here. So I look in. No, this is weird. So I've got Trackir on, by the way. I'm looking far out here, I'm sort of leaning back, but when I move in, watch the bottom two indicators. They sort of go away, you can see that. When I zoom in as well. That's weird. I like how all the indicators, or the 4 lighting up when you got the hazards on. That's kind of cool, but I'm not sure it's working properly. Right, I'm going to have to sort of reverse this. Right, there you go. In the clicking continues. Oh, come on, you see, just didn't know what to do then. going anyway, don't really care. Another thing that I've noticed is that it's really dark in here. I mean, if you compare it to the outside, look at that. And then inside, it's like HDR has been turned off when you got on the inside. It's kind of odd. Try and not hit that curb. But yeah, I went for the 428 horsepower engine with 2000 Newton meters of torque. It is the V6. As I said, you can also get the V8. I'm not too sure of the sound differences or if there is any, but I'll leave that for you to find out. It feels like it's got a lot more power than 428 or whatever it was. It actually drives pretty nicely. It's just the gearbox that's kind of annoying. Obviously you can be sort of unrealistic and go for a manual. Not sure if a manual was offered on this truck in real life, but it's not presented in game, so I don't know. Let's indicate on here. Let's put our foot down. No idea why it's a 40 km/h limit down here when you should be speeding up to pull on. I mean, it got up to speed pretty well. I mean, it's holding on to the gears pretty long. It's doing the bloom on that sat nav's really bad, so it's at 80 limit down here. Doing 90. Just pull into this lane quick. Why is he putting an arrow for that lane turning off when it isn't? It's confusing. Yes, so we're doing over 100 now. I mean, that's not bad. I know this trailer's only 8 tons, but if it can get to 100 like that, that isn't too bad, is it really? So 8H is the top gear. This is a 16 speed, and if we slow it back down to the speed limit, just let it cruise back down, and then put the cruise on. So I'll put it on now. So at 80 km/h, which is the speed that you'd be driving in most countries in this game, you're doing around 1200 RPMs, and the engine is, I was just on that screen. Oh. So currently we're doing around 66 litres every 100 mile. Shouldn't have gone in this lane. Not sure what was going on then, but the barrier didn't close. I clicked enter, nothing happened, so I just drove through. I feel like I'm cutting that guy off a bit. The mirrors have got some really weird wide angle on that side. You can't really get any sort of depth from it. So it is kind of, even though they are really thin and everything, and supposedly good, they're actually kind of hard to see out of, or sort of get any visual representation of where you actually are on the road. Right, come on, let's get going, dude. Oh, did that turning in as well. Let's wait for them. Right, does this lane turn off? I think so. Wow, the road's confusing around here. Look at that, 60, 70, and that was uphill that little bit. 80, it's not bad. I mean, I've got no idea what the V8s are like, but for a 428 horsepower engine, this drives pretty well. I actually like it quite a lot. It does seem to lean a little bit around the corners. It's not like a brand new Scania or anything, but it's kind of progressive. It's not sort of unexpected or anything. I do like the dashboard design. It's kind of cool, in fact. I do wish I presume this is the mod author, didn't put his like name all over it. I think it ruins the simulation if you ask me, but or at least you can remove it or add it on for an option. or something on the interior. The visibility is very good, the pillars are very thin, as this doesn't have anywhere near the level of safety as like a modern truck. I mean, it's 21, well, if truck of the year 97, so this is 21 years old, this truck. And it doesn't look that bad for 21 years old, I don't find. Obviously when you compare it to the Actros MP4, the latest gen, it's very, very different, but for 21 years old, I don't think the design has come on that much. I mean, for 21 years, you'd expect it a lot more different, I'd say. I mean, the speed really gets away from you. I didn't notice we were doing 100 kilometers an hour then. But it holds on to its momentum pretty nice, I'm noticing. It's fairly easy to position on the road. It doesn't feel that high, which is a good thing. No idea what lane I need to be in. I'm going to say this one. No, this one. Whoa. I mean, from a distance, you cannot see what lane you need to be in, because they all blur into one on that sat-nav. I always wish they added a voice or something. I know it'd be a little bit complicated, but it probably would be helpful. Like something like bear right or something would be very, very helpful. But yeah, I like the way this carries its speed. It's really, really cool. I know it's not that powerful, but it's actually quite fun to drive. But yeah, overall, do I recommend you downloading this truck? To be honest, yeah, I do. I think it's the best sort of older Mercedes truck mod I've seen for a while. All the interior is really high quality. Some of the buttons are animated, which is always cool. It drives pretty nicely. If you sort of do put it in manual instead of sort of playing it realistic and going with the automatic like modelled in this truck, I'm sure it'll be a lot better to drive. As I said, cabin's really detailed. The customization's pretty good. There's some little things that I don't like. As I said, the name on the dash, maybe making some, being able to change the colour of some of the writing of like Mercedes on the side, or the badge colour or something like that. Some little things that could be added, but overall this is pretty good, I have to say. So yeah, I do recommend you taking a look if you like your Mercedes trucks. Right, just wait for this guy. Oh, I've knocked the wipers. Does sound pretty nice as well. Alright, let's see what it's like to reverse with that really wide angle mirror. Get in here, so it looks like we're going to the back, which I believe you have to go. No, you can go that way. Let's go this way though. I think it's probably going to be best. Oh, see what I mean? You can't, from that mirror it looks like we've got it through completely fine, but actually we've made a complete mess of that. That's actually really bad, that mirror. I'm going to get through here now because I've cut that corner too fine. I mean, I can't It does have rear steering. Oh. That was close. Yeah, so we're round. Just. And then we've got to find somewhere to park. Right, here we go. Yeah, luckily we didn't go the other way, so it would have been a blind side and we wouldn't stand a chance with that mirror. Oh, stop clicking. Doesn't turn very sharp, this trailer. There we go. Straighten that up a bit. Brake on. I like it when it says stop. That's pretty nice when you turn the parking brake on. And engine off. Let's see it all turning off then. So there we go. If you have enjoyed that video, please do give me a like, subscribe for more, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.